Alright, it's time for another Low Riven game. I'm giving, hold on. What's she going? Giving all of these former Low games a second round. What should do with another account, of course. This account has almost no runes or masteries, so it's always going to be the same thing. Attack damage red, armor yellow, magic resistance scaling blues, attack damage quints, and as part of the masteries, I believe I had her with 921 this time. Instead of going offense, I went defense. I think so. I don't quite remember. By the way, I started with boots with the intention of ganking people early, even though that may not exactly be what ends up happening. This game turns out to be a doozy for the beginning. My opponent is Nocturne, someone who would destroy me in most any jungle duel, because jungle duels tend to be prolonged. And, Riven's all about the whole bursting thing, trading off, and then going all in when she sees a massive advantage. So Jax goes in, I go right on top of Lee Sin, stun him as soon as the counter-strike thingy ends. In comes Nocturne. We go right on top of the Lee Sin, and we manage to kill him for first blood. I die, though, through the ignite. Or some crap. I think the lizard burn killed me. I die. Jax is now in trouble. Nocturne goes a little too, right now you'll see. Jax goes back in to see if he can kill Nocturne. Jax runs away. Nocturne flashes into a turret and dies. Great. Well, I died, but Jax got a double buff, and now he has, Jax got a double buff. He has first blood and a second blood gold. He has a giant fucking minion wave of farm, so if anything, he's got a huge advantage right now over his opponent. Lee Sin also burned his red, meaning he's not going to have any items for a bit. I myself, though, the boots start isn't exactly working out. If I had started off with, Doran's Blade, maybe I would have dealt more damage, or maybe I would have taken more damage. Whatever. Boots start is great for champions that are mobile, that already have mobility things attached to them. Riven, Volibear, Udyr, that kind of stuff. Not really Skarner. And as you can see, I can't really do a Nocturne. I just stun him and just walk away. If I tried fighting him after my abilities were down, he just beat my sorry ass. So Boots start was a gamble that didn't work out. However, I buy Doran's Blade regardless, and now I don't really have to buy any of the spirit items. But mid Kayle is farming very well compared to her opponent. Though you'll notice that the Kayle is kind of an asshole later on. It's an uneventful game right now. I could have been spending this time farming, but I was trying to look so desperately for a gank. More than just farming, and it puts me behind. In fact, at one point in the game, I would be the weakest character in the game, gold-wise, even weaker than the supports. However, the nature of Riven leads her to just dominate people, regardless of how bad, underfarmed she is. As a jungler, one of her best abilities is her ultimate. Why? It gives her a shit ton of free stats. And free stats in a jungler are always a good thing. There's a few things for junglers that are very strong. Crowd control is obviously, the most blatant and most obvious thing that gives a jungler strength. Oh, well, here you go. Kayle gets ganked by 3 people. I stun Lee Sin under the tower for a little bit. He dies, but I die. I don't know if it was totally worth it. I get a kill at least. And then the Kayle shit talks to Orianna because Kayle's kind of an insecure bitch. Either way. So crowd control is the most obvious, take as to what can give a jungler a lot of strength. The other one is sustains. I mean, how sustained and safe they are. If they're what you call a very inconsistent and very flabby jungler, then they're not really that great. And you can be a jungler who doesn't gank all that well, but if you're consistent with how well you clear and how well you farm, then that can give you strength. I mean, that can give you strength as a jungler. Think of Dr. Munu and Shyvana. Then the other one is you have tons of steroids. You can have a weaker early game, but you have a lot of steroids, or either to yourself or to your teammates, that give your team artificial gold, a la Nunu and hell, even Master Yi Tryndamere kind of that. In this case, Riven also counts towards that. I have tons of fucking free gold from my abilities, my passive, and from my ultimate. So, it can make up in large part for a lot of the gold I may not have gotten for being in the jungle. it allows me also to have a stronger mid game. For a lot of these champions, it allows them to have a stronger mid game because either you transfer your quote unquote gold to your teammates, or you like just give yourself a bunch of artificial gold even for a little bit. Though it does make you very restricted to having those abilities available when you want to fight. One of the more clear examples of this is Nocturne. Nocturne is often built as pure tank, and yet he still deals tons of fucking damage. Point for that though is his damage only comes if he's fighting on his little dusk cloud thingy, his Q. If you fight on top of it, it gives you a shitload of AD, free AD, and you actually get to duel somebody really easily. If you miss that or you don't get to use it properly, then you'll probably have a hard time dealing with them. Also, your W is free attack speed, especially if you manage to spell shield something successfully. So, Nocturne, there you go. He's probably the best example of having steroids on a jungler. Though Nocturne is also strong at everything else in those, categories that give a jungler strength. Ganking and just clearing. By the way, there's a funny little scene. The Kayle was being hounded by the enemy team for a good minute. Like, she was there. She didn't bother leaving. She tried so hard to kill one person, even though everybody from the map was converging on her. And then we all die as a result of her hubris and stupidity. The best part is she blames the entire team. Why did nobody back me up? You guys don't fight. Well, you know what? You were kind of by yourself in a terrible situation. She was yelling at the Tristana at this point, telling her that, just useless Tristana, why are you all by yourself? The Kayle was pretty much by herself. I know I'm shit talking and yelling at her, because, that was pretty unfair. The Tristana got a tower. The Kayle just got us killed. Either way, some of those two ganks that I was able to pull off, the top gank on Lee Sin, and then the mid gank on, I believe, Orianna. Yeah, it was Orianna. Helped me bounce back after all that little farming failure fiasco that I put myself into. Not like the Nocturne has much gold anyway, but he does have gank kills. So we're kind of about even. Difference though is I'm building pure damage. I'll die to a fucking breeze in most cases, but I can probably jump on top of Orianna and Caitlyn and destroy her. That's Riven's strength. She's barely a pseudo initiator. She can assassinate people. That's kind of a better way to put it. She can assassinate people and still work as a semi-bruiser, even if it's built as glass cannon, as long as she uses her E appropriately, which is why I'm maxing it out second. My W is mostly just for crowd control, and then my E is just to not die. I level up Q, and I know some of you may not agree with that in the jungle, but it's a lot better skill if you're jungling, in my opinion. W is more better for laning, as far as people have been telling and yelling at me for. So fight happens. Jax has an incredible initiation of the wall and grabs a bunch of people. We're not initiation, a follow-up through. And that allows us to get 2 kills rather easily. And then we catch the last one, Lee Sin, and pretty much destroy him, by punching him in the lips or something. The rest of the team just scatters and, runs away. But that brings us back into the game. We are pinged to go push, and of course we will do so. And we take one tower, and then there's 2 conflicting here. They're saying push top, push bottom, push mid, or whatever. So we go top to push it. We catch a Nocturne, but not enough to kill him. We make him flash. At least that was pretty much a free flash. In comes the entire enemy team, which forces us to run the fuck away. Their blue spawn, and I would have wanted to steal it. So we escape, we grab red, I give it to Tristana because she's going to be able to carry us. I have a Bloodthirster now, I'm going to be building towards a Last Whisper. I have a Ninja Tab. Despite having a rough early game and not having a lot of ganks to my name aside until skirmishes started occurring, I still have a massive steroid and I still can sit down on people. So a fight breaks out, I jump right on top of Caitlyn as best as I could. Then I turn on Orianna because I'm just going to get kited by the Caitlyn. I go towards Orianna. When the second I see she's still around, I go to the bushes flash and just stab her in the nuts. So there goes the Orianna, and there goes the Lee Sin. As I said, I still have tons of fucking damage. If they don't focus me, then I'll be able to deal a shitload. If they focus me, I'll probably die by just a full one wave combo of their stuff. But hopefully the rest of my team can pick it up. My team essentially right now has 3 carries. Actually 4 carries with the Jax too. We have 4 carries of straight out damage. Our initiation is pretty balls. Our disengage is pretty balls. But we have Kale's ultimate, which will keep one of us alive through all of this. Like I said, I'm building through Last Whisper. I'm trying to give myself the stats to deal, as much damage as I could. I am essentially a low-farmed lane Riven at this point, without an ignite to finish people off. So, still, it's good. That's what Riven does anyways in the jungle. You don't farm as much as you try to kill people, and your steroids help you overcome some of the weaknesses that you had given. In the past, it used to be ridiculously, stronger. Jungle Riven used to be a much stronger when her ultimate had like about a 1 minute cooldown at rank 1 or something like that. So you can always be a threat no matter what. Right now, like as Jungle Riven, you can only be a threat until you get items, only when you have your ultimate up. Like if I had no items or we were back, around when everybody's level 6, I don't beat that threatening if I didn't have my ultimate. In a duel, the Nocturne would still beat my ass if I didn't unless I had my ultimate. It's the same thing as Darius right now. The ultimate cooldowns was increased, therefore your threat levels when they know your ultimate is down is ridiculously low. So Jax leaves us, and our team refuses to leave, and thus we pay the price for that. We pretty much get wiped the fuck out. I survive somehow. Jax comes in and saves me, and then I run for my life. They chase after Jax, and I'm hoping, no, Jax, buddy, I hope you didn't die for me. He runs as fast as he can, and he actually will manage to survive this. Yay for Jax. Well, yay for the mighty dragon. So, miles to my team. 3 died. Half of my team died for that. And they're off to do Baron, which we cannot stop. We cannot stop. They grab it. We grab red. And just walk around in circles for a little while. I need to stack up my Bloodthirster again and deal damage. But at least I have Last Whisper, which will allow me to blow up anybody I jump on top of. So unsurprisingly, most of my team is very high damage. So even if one of us dies, the rest of my team can probably obliterate them. Hell, Tristana is pretty damn safe on her own by herself. If they jump on her, she'll just reset the fight, and then the rest of us can close the gap and finish them off. So this is an awkward engage. Jax went in, Nocturne uses ultimate, nothing happened there. I jump right in, flash on top of the enemy team, and Orianna just takes an overwhelming amount of damage from me and Kayle. She essentially explodes, then we just turn on Lee Sin and kill him, and I'm still going on a murdering rampage. I want to catch one of these people. I managed to catch nobody though, but the combined damage from all of us destroyed their two teammates like nothing. They're dead, we have to back off. They're pinging for Baron, but turns out they didn't get a Baron. I forgot that, so I kind of gave misinformation. Unless you did, I'm just forgetting again that we guys got it back up. I grab it, smite it. They come in. I just jump on them and start slashing at them. We could kill them if we had fought them, because they were nowhere near anyone. Kayle gets caught out, turns around, and picks a fight out. So we jump in, annihilate Janna. Jax jumps right on top of the Caitlyn and is trying to destroy her. We're just ignoring a Nocturne because he can't do anything. Then Jax goes right back on Nocturne and starts bashing brains in. Lee Sin comes in, kills Jax. Now we kind of got to run away. My entire team is dead. At least I have Baron. And then, of course, the Kayle is actually asking us to surrender several times across this game. We can't win this game. Holy crap, dude, we have pure fucking damage and our late game is astronomically stronger than theirs. Even if we were to be losing really badly in the early game, if they didn't bother finishing it, eventually we would come back from this. That's one thing I wish some people would understand in lower levels. Some champions are much stronger late game than anybody else. And our fucking team is composed of champions that are much stronger late game than their champions. So if we were to just drag it out, even if we were losing, then we would eventually win. In this case, we're not losing. We're about even. Anyways, here's a bad fight for them. I pretty much am, I'm able to just jump into the back line. I destroy Orianna, heavily damage Janna, forcing her to escape. They can't deal damage to me, and then Kayle gives me her ultimate and keeps me alive. Then we also trap Caitlyn and destroy her. Well, then Kayle gives me the ultimate. Yeah. Okay, we destroy Kayle. We wipe out 2 members of the team, 2 very important members of the team. And also crippled a bunch of the others. We destroy a tower, we destroy the inhibitor, and now we're going straight for the Nexus. as soon as my ultimate comes back up, I pop it. I'm just wanting this game to be over. This KO was kind of a bitch. And this game wasn't exactly easy. I didn't do so well early game. And I just want this goddamn tower dead. Detect tower, and I'm trying to kill this Nocturne, so it just leaves us alone. The tower goes down, and then all focus on the Nexus goes in. Though not everybody focuses on it, everybody's running away. Thank God the Kale died, because she doesn't deserve to live at the end of this game. Hooray for Riven, boo for Kale. Don't be mean to people.